Ishtabach, Yispar, Yisanam, Yisnasei, Yisador, Yisalev, Yisalosh, Mele Kudisha, Rabbi Moshe Hauer, Ishbavasam, Nechmasal, Gam Yuavi, Shalom Esrei Yedaber V'kirba Yosim
השמיים לידיהם נודדו הלכו ונסעתי את ירושלים לגליל איתנים ויסורי יהודה אתן שממה מבלי מי איש החכם יבין אסויס ואשר דיבר פי אדוני אליו ויגידו על מב דהורץ מצסות המדבר מבלי עיוור ויאמר אדוני הלא זו מסתירסי אשר נסעתי לפניהם לא ישמעו בכלים לא ילכו בו וילכו אחרי שיוס ליבם אחרי הבעלים אשר לימדו מאבוסם לכם כיאמר אדוני צבאיס אלוהי ישראל הנני מאכילם אסום הזה לנו והשכיסים אגרש ואפיצויסים בגויים אשר לא ידעו המה ואבוסם ושילחתי אחריהם אס החרב אתה לא יסי אויסם כיאמר אדוני צבאיס יספיננו וקראו למקיינינו וסביינו ולחכמו ישלחו וסביינו וסמהרנו וסיסנו עלינו נגי וסירבנו עינינו דימה ויפתנו יזומים כי כל נגי נשמע מציון איכשותו וביישנו מיועד כזרנו ארץ תורת כשליחו משכני סיינו תשמענו אנשים דבר אדוני ושיקח אוזניכם דבר פיו ולמדנו בני שיכם נהי וישארו סכינה כי על המובס בחלו עינינו בו וירנסינו יכריס אלו מחוץ בחורים נר חיפה הסתבר קייום אדוני ונפלה מגלס האדם כדיימן על פני השדה וכימיר מאחורי הקויצר ימי הסייף קי אמר אדוני על ישראל חכם וחכמוסי ועל ישראל הגיבור וגבורוסי ועל ישראל עשיר ביושרי כי בזויס ישראל עם ישראל אזכר ויודע חסי כי אני אדוני עושה חסד לשפוט וצחוקו בארץ כי וילך חפצתי נאום אדוני ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם וכל העולמים צדיק בכל הדברוס וילנו אנו אמר יוסף המדבר ומתחייג שכל דברו במצוות צדק נאמנתו אדוני אלוהינו ונאמנים דבריך כדבריך מדבריך אחר לא ישוב ריקם כי אל מלך נאמן ורחמנתו ברוך אתה אדוני נאמן בכל דברו רחם על ציון כי היא בית חיינו ולנו אז נפש תושיע במרוב ימינו ברוך אתה אדוני שמח ציון בבונך שמחנו אדוני אלוהינו ואליהו הנביא עבדך ומלכוס בית דוד משיחך במהרה יבוא ויגל ליבנו על כיסא לא ישב זר לא יתחלו את האחרים אספוידוי כי לשם קודשך נשבעת אלוהי שלא יכוון אירוי לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני ברוך
Thursday, parking across the street from the shul from 11 to 1 is not allowed.
Mentioned, I just want to, at the outset, note that the person we're going to be focusing on today is Sara Schenirer, her vision for the revival of Klal Yisrael. And as always, as for many years, we focus our discussion during the Kinot about someone who was involved in the Churban and the binyan of Klal Yisrael in the destruction, the failure of the Jewish people and their rebirth in our time, of which she certainly, as we will, Be'ezus Hashem, as you already know, and as we will hopefully learn more and appreciate more, this morning was a critical figure. I want at the outset to express appreciation to a few individuals who were very helpful to me, to Dr. Leslie Ginsbar-Klein, right here of Baltimore, of Ma'alot, who's done a lot of work on this subject, to Rebbe Tzipora Weinberg of North Woodmere, to very good friend Davi Safir, who's helpful to me, and to the many wonderful written works, including especially the work of Naomi Zeidman, of Pearl Benish, Lahavdil Ben Chaim L'Chaim, of Rachel Manikin, and of other students and peers who we will be quoting of Sara Schenirer, Lahavdil Ben Chaim L'Chaim. I also want to make note at the outset, in Le'ala Es Yerushalayim, on the day when we mourn over Yerushalayim, we of course have to consider and focus and think about Yerushalayim. The direct subject matter of today is not so much focused on that, but it's in our mind, and I don't mean it just in some token way in the background. First of all, as every Tisha B'Av, we understand that every discussion of Churban, every discussion of Jewish failure, feeds into that. It comes from the Churban Beis HaMikdash, and it continues the Churban Beis HaMikdash. Whether it is the absence of our proper recognition of Hashem, whether it is the absence of our ability to heal the divisions of sinas chinam, of needless hatred, which destroyed the second Beis HaMikdash. And second, and most specific, the level of sina, the level of hatred and division which has come into play in Eretz Yisrael today, these days, is something which needs to be on our mind. Someone who I work with closely said to me, I don't know, from my read of what people are talking about on social media channels, it's not really on the minds of people here. And that's something that has to be recognized and something that has to be addressed. Eretz Yisrael, as it is, and the Jewish people in Eretz Yisrael are ground zero. They're the center of Klal Yisrael today, center stage. They're the center of the Jewish future. And the divisions which are occurring there are dramatic and traumatic and something which we need to pray, of course, to be healed. But we also need to think, and we need to consider the attitudes that all of us have here and there that can be used to fix it. I think that some of the discussion today would perhaps be helpful for a general mindset change around it, even if we only invoke it sparingly. Finally, as you know, we don't say all of the kinos. I'd like to just give you like advance notice of the ones we will say as we will say them. The first two that we will say after our first introductory comments are the 8th kina and the 11th kina. Adeh Chuk Shamayim and Vayekonin Yirmiyahu Al Yoshio. The first one's on in the Art School, page 162. The current page 237, and we Mirat Hashem we will get there. That kina is chosen because it focuses on the cries of the Jewish people, the cries of the Jewish people. Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus is an outstanding work of Medrash. It's a work of Medrash which tells a story, and the Medrash emanates from the story. It's the story of Elazar ben Hyrcanus. And the Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer starts as follows. Ma'aseh Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus shehayu la'aviv charshim v'hayu charshim al gabei hama'aneh hu haya cheresh batroshin. His father had many people who were doing the plowing for him, and he was as well on tougher fields. Hyrcanus was an extremely wealthy person, the father of Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. Yoshav loy v'haya beiche, and he was sitting and weeping, and his father said to him, Mipnei ma'ata boche, why are you weeping? Shema mitzterata shata choresh betroshin. Are you in anguish? Are you suffering because the area that you have to plow is particularly tough soil? Is that what has you down? I'll let you plow on softer soil. So he switched, and he was still crying. He said, why are you crying? Is even plowing here, is that also problematic for you? He said, no. Why are you crying then? Because I seek to study Torah. You're 28 years old. You want to start learning Torah now? Eliezer ben Hyrcanus didn't know anything. He was completely ignorant, as we see from the continuation of the Medrash. And he wanted to learn Torah. And he was crying. He says, take my advice. It's too late for you. Get married, have children, and send your children to school. They'll be educated in Torah. For 2 weeks he didn't eat anything. Till Eliyahu Hanavi came to him. And he said, Ben Hyrcanus, why are you crying? Amar loy shani mevakesh l'mod Torah, because I want to learn Torah. Amar loy mat mevakesh l'mod Torah. If you want to learn Torah, alei Yerushalayim eitzel Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. Go up to Yerushalayim to study with Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. Amad v'holach eitzel Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. So he went to Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. Yoshav loy v'haya boich, and he sat down, and he was still crying. Amar loy, Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai said to him, Bnai mata boicha, why are you crying? He said, because I want to learn Torah. Shani mevakesh l'mod Torah. Amar loy ben miata. He says, who are you? He didn't want to tell him. Amar loy miyamecha loy lamadata kriya shma loy tefila loy birchas hamozayin. Do you not know how to say Shema? You don't know how to daven? You don't know how to bench? He said, no. Amar loy amoed ve'lamedcha shloshtam. I'll teach you those three things. You need the basics. You're 28 years old. You should know how to daven. Yoshav v'haya boicha. And Rabbi Moshe Hauer went back to crying. Why are you crying? Because I want to learn Torah. And every day he taught him 2 halachas. And he reviewed them until he had them, till he nailed them, what we would say. You remember Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus is enumerated in Pirkei Avos as one of the students of Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai, and his quality was that he was a bor sid she'enei ma'abed tipa. He was like a cemented cistern that didn't lose a drop of the water that was put into it. And he learned, and he learned. And Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer tells the striking, beautiful story of what happened when his father came to Yerushalayim to disown him, to disinherit him, because he had left to learn Torah. And it tells how Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai put him up